So, my car is broken, and Brandon's not fixing it. He's just looking at shit.
Yeah.
No. Manifold, lower manifold, ported. It's going down. Ain't that right?
You're damn right.
And then I got some other stuff, you know, regular shit that broke. Oh, I had to buy both gaskets again because we couldn't figure out which one was which, like, because they're different, the driver and passenger side. So I had to fucking buy them again. Inline gaskets, spark plugs. Yeah, that's it. All I need.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for stopping by the channel. As always, if you have not already, stop for a second, make sure and hit the like button and subscribe button. Today, as you can see, we're doing the upper and lower intake manifolds from Z1 Performance and the intake manifold, or the valve cover gaskets. This will probably be a two-part video, or if not a two-part video, at least a two-day video. But yeah, let's go ahead. We already pulled the intake pipes off. We unplugged the throttle bodies, and now let's go ahead and start banging out some stuff.
Just a heads up for anybody watching this and they've never taken apart anything in their engine bay before. When you remove the manifolds, it's very simple and very straight to the point of where to put everything back. You don't have to worry about something going in the wrong spot because it's very self-explanatory, right in your face. Heads up for anybody who's read any forums on these cars. A lot of people like to say that the throttle bodies, they have to be reset if you disconnect them completely. That's not true. It's false. Feel free to go ahead and just take them off. Again, bringing it up, you can see the throttle bodies right there. They're kind of just over to the side. Passenger side, you don't have to remove the coolant lines. On the driver's side, you may have to remove one to get it out of your way. Brandon never explains shit that he's doing.
I'm sorry.
What kind of tools you using?
I'm sorry. Alright, so you mainly, to get the top side off, you're going to need a 10 and an 8. So for him, we had the still in cold air intake, so it's not really much of an intake box to remove. Just had to unbolt there. And then it's a bunch of lines. You got to remove a coolant line. This coolant line right here goes to the side of the throttle body, so you can put the throttle body up out of the way. Also want to take your evap hose off of the intake. Comes to the other side. Once you unplug the throttle body on this side, you can just rest it up here without removing any of the coolant hoses off of it. The Allen key to remove the throttle body is a 5. It's a 5mm. So it's a 5mm Allen key to remove the throttle body bolts. I put them back in place so we know where they're going. Just in case some of you guys want to know why I put them back there, just so you can't get them mixed up. Yes, we're putting another manifold on, but they could always be transferred from this manifold onto the new manifold. This is just stuff that I've learned because you come across bolts that look the exact same, or at least you think they look the exact same and they're really not the exact same. So, to avoid, you could also label a bag and put each one in a bag. To me, that just takes more time. This way, I know where they go. I know where I pulled them out from. So, and then go ahead and unplug this sensor to get to the bolt back here. You do not have to unplug this up what I assume is the EGR system. You don't have to unplug that. You can just unbolt it to get the top intake manifold out. Don't forget to switch your map sensor over from the stock one to the new intake manifold from Z1. And yeah, let's go ahead and bang out some more bolts.
Which one's which? Oh, all right. So this is the ported one, ported manifold.
You can see the difference
compared to OEM.
ported, non-ported. Throttle bodies, we might be able to get a better look on them. Throttle bodies are ported. You can see the difference inside. The real difference is when we pull off the lower, is when we're going to see a huge difference. Okay, so when pulling the upper intake manifold, you need, let me rerun through this. You need a 5mm Allen key for the throttle body bolts. You're going to need a deep 10 and a deep 12 socket, and you can also have some wrenches just in case. All the intake manifold bolts are going to be 12mm. All the small bolts behind the intake manifold are going to be 10mm. And then you have a couple hoses to remove. Note to self: once you remove the stuff from the upper intake manifold, there's nothing else bolted to the lower intake manifold at all. So now the lower intake manifold is out, as you guys can see. Here's the stock one. We're gonna go up next to Z1 Performance's ported one, and you can already walk up and see the difference. Kind of don't even really have to show you guys. You can visually see that wall gap difference. And go ahead and flip over here. So yeah, you can clearly see night and day difference. So now let's go ahead and clean up those surfaces there and start putting this lower intake manifold on and get from there. So before we install it, you can actually see the hand port job done and the resurfacing done on it now that we're in some light. You can definitely see the difference there. So we're gonna go ahead and install this. The new gaskets are already in. Yeah, just bolt it on up.
And yup.
It's like that sometimes because some thread holes are they just have crap inside of them, and when you pulled the bolt out, it's minor no matter. When you pulled the bolt out, the crap that was in the threads came out with the bolt, and when you put the other bolt in it just so happens to go in there smoothly. That's all it really is. So now, ladies and gentlemen, this is like torquing down a head. You don't want to just run one side down and run one side down. You go across and do a pattern, and then you go across and you do a pattern. That way the gaskets get spread out evenly from inside to outside. Some people say you're supposed to go from outside to inside. As far as I've always told you, go from inside to outside. That's that. So we're gonna go ahead and tighten these down. You can run the bolts down with a small gun. Do not torque them down with a gun, whatever you do. You should do this with a torque wrench, but I do not have one here. Luckily, we're going to continue this tomorrow morning, so I'm going to snug them down to right around what they should be, and then I'll double check them with the torque wrench tomorrow before we complete the job. And as you guys can see, that one was loose. I go to this one, loose again. Go to this one, loose again. Alright, now we're going to cover that up so nothing gets in there and cooks without a
We're back, bitch. Okay, wait, there you go. Look, we're back. I've been dying for this, so you have no idea.